My phone buzzed on the nightstand like an angry wasp, and at first I thought it was the alarm to get up. I picked up the phone and I blinked at it as I realized that it had stopped buzzing and I was supposed to have another hour to sleep because it wasn't the alarm. It was a text, a notification. You have a delivery scheduled. I frowned at the phone as I looked at the sender. It was just a series of numbers, letters, and symbols that looked like somebody had rolled their hand across the keyboard. Certainly not a phone number or an online store that I had ordered something from. Super weird, which meant that it was probably a super scam. A foreign prince was going to send me a diamond if I would only send money first. Yeah, sure thing. Still, there was always the possibility that it was legit. I hadn't ordered anything out of the ordinary, but maybe somebody was sending me something as a surprise. My birthday was next month, after all. The chances seemed low, but the idea still had enough inertia that I didn't delete the message the way that I usually did with spam. Instead, I closed my phone and I drifted back off to sleep. When I woke to the alarm a bit later, I found myself checking for another message. I felt a bit disappointed when there was none, and that in turn made me feel a bit dumb. Shaking my head, I went back and deleted the first message. And by the time that I got out of the shower, I had forgotten about it almost entirely. That afternoon, I was eating a sandwich at my desk when my phone jumped in my hand. I had been reading on the Discover More Apple Juice Mowing Auctions internet, but now the top of my screen was filled with a new text notification. I tapped it and slowly sat my sandwich down as I read the full message. You have a delivery scheduled and delivery time will be at 2:45 p.m. Please be prepared at that time. Oh, what the heck? Rereading the message, I pondered it. Who gives that specific of a time? And please be prepared for what? Hey, Becky. I knew that she was over there. Just like me, she never took a lunch break. Yeah. I stood up and leaned over the cubicle wall as I held up my phone. Have you ever gotten a delivery message like this? She took my phone and studied it for a moment before looking up at me. Her gray eyebrows arched. Oh no, I don't think so. Think it's a hacker or something. I shrugged. Oh, who knows? Probably some kid sending people odd messages as a prank. Becky gave a little laugh and went back to looking at her computer as I sat back to stare at my own little screen. The sender named Junk was different this time, right? Still a mix of stuff that made no sense, but with more letters than before. Frowning at my phone, I debated just deleting it again. Still, something in the new message made me feel a little bit excited, a little worried. No doubt it was just a mistake or an automated phishing scam, but for the moment it was making my day a bit more interesting. So, even though I knew it was a waste of time and against my rules and responding to sketchy internet stuff, I decided to text back. Who is this? What is being delivered? I didn't order anything. I chewed the rest of my sandwich robotically as I played on my phone, trying to pretend like I wasn't just distracting myself while I waited for a response. I finished watching a video about an orphaned raccoon or something when I noticed the time. It was already getting close to 1:30. I needed to get back to work. And if something was delivered, I wouldn't be home until after 6 o'clock anyway. But my guess was I'd be looking at an empty porch when I got there. My phone buzzed about an hour later. It was my mom asking if I was still coming over this weekend. I was starting to type an answer when my phone shook again. It was a response from the Mystery Center. You will see soon. Okay, so this is either somebody being creepy or somebody that I know doing some kind of practical. A shrieking sound began tearing across the office. And for a moment, I had the panic thought that this was what was coming. That this sound was some terrible thing screeching and wailing as it clawed its way toward me. And then I heard Becky's voice over the noise, and I looked up. What? It's the fire alarm. Come on, we have to go down the stairs. Glancing back down at my phone, I caught a final glimpse of the last message before my screen went dim. I stuffed the phone in my pockets. I went with Becky and everybody else out of the office and down the stairs to the lobby of the building. It was a slow process made slower because I got in front of Becky in case she stumbled and went to fall. I knew that she had trouble on stairs and I didn't want her going so fast trying to keep up that she wound up with a broken neck over what was probably a stupid unannounced drill. But when we had stepped out into the lobby, I could already see fire trucks pulling up through the front windows. Something was actually going on after all. I heard anxious murmurs around me as we were ushered by security through the doors and told to cross safely to the other side of the street until they could give us more information. We did as we were told, and within a couple of minutes we were clustered on the far sidewalk like penguins huddled together on a lonely ice floe. There were probably 50 or 60 people out there, and I realized with some surprise that I didn't recognize most of them. I had worked in the building for over 5 years, and I hardly knew anyone outside of the guards and people on my floor, and most of the ones that I did know were only in passing. It made me feel isolated and unfriendly, and in other circumstances, I would have encouraged myself to do better and be more sociable. But surrounded by so many people in such close quarters, all I could think was my phone buzzed. Delivery completed. Checking my phone's clock, I saw that it was exactly 2:45 p.m. I went over to my email to see if there had been any delivery-related messages. But there was nothing. Looking up, I saw a cop approaching. He looked tired and weary as he drew near the crowd, and I could tell by his expression that something bad must have happened. All he told us was that there had been a fire and that it had been put out, but that there was an ongoing investigation of the scene. And due to this, the office was going to be closed for the rest of the day and possibly tomorrow. And we should call our supervisors in the morning for further updates. They pulled a few people from the crowd a minute ago. I looked around and saw Becky looking at me. What? Those cops? They pulled a few people out a few minutes ago. You were looking at your phone, but I think they got people from the 10th floor. I bet they're questioning them about something. I shrugged. I don't know. Laughing, I added, better them than me, right? I'm heading out. Nodding distractedly as she looked after the retreating officer, Becky said, "Oh, don't forget your box." I stopped still and turned back to her. "What box?" She pointed behind me. "That box? Didn't you bring it down with you? It's got your name on it." I didn't have any. She was right. There is a small cardboard box sitting on the sidewalk right behind where I had been standing. Where did that come from? Did you put that there? Becky let out a laugh. Did you see me with a box on the way down? I scoured her. Did you see me with one? She frowned and shook her head. Well, no, I guess not. I was paying attention to the stairs mainly, but I don't remember it. I just noticed it a minute ago. It had your name on it, so I figured that I must have just overlooked it. Her eyes widened. You think this is your mystery delivery? Yeah, maybe so. I picked up the box gingerly. It wasn't heavy, but it definitely had something with weight to it inside. I wanted to open it then and there, but it was taped up and people were already moving toward the nearby parking deck that our office had valet.